Well, we're back once again. Once again, we've returned to the microphone. We've returned to the camera. I feel like I've been doing this a lot lately, and I guess I'm just going to keep doing it as I gear up for some more creative productivity in the coming year. And as much as I can sustain it without going completely insane. So I welcome all of you to the stream, and I just want to say thank you very much for stopping by if you're watching it after the fact, which is most likely the case. Between the LSG Media Gaming YouTube and the LSG Media Podcasting YouTube, there's been a lot going on. So to any of you who are bouncing between those two channels, thank you, and we appreciate the support. I have my damn fine cup of coffee. Shout out to Twin Peaks. And I am hoping that my camera is not annoying today. It might be. I've decided that I hate webcams. I think they're terrible, and I'm going to get a new camera at some point. But there are many other priorities that are ahead of that, sadly. And that's called being a grown-up. Hello, Wade. I hope you're having a good day. The goal today is to play a little bit of Lord of the Rings. The card game, of course, has played on DRGNCARDS, created by the wonderful C-Stan and a bunch of guys he's got over there making plugins for the beta version for other games, which is also very awesome. So I'm actually going to be using the beta version today of Lord of the Rings. It looks like, I don't know, I haven't really talked to the man. I'm on his Discord, so once in a while we'll exchange. But it looks like he may be trying to upgrade the whole thing to something a little bit different. So I'll be using that one. I like the look of it. And besides, it gets me used to it for the Marvels game, the Marvel Champions card game. And I think there's a guy putting Arkham on there too. And as much as I like TT Sim and as much as I think the Super Complete Edition is phenomenal, I do hate moving around the table. It is a bit annoying. I don't know how well Dragon Cards plugin for Arkham will work in compared to the Super Complete Edition for Arkham. I think it'd be the Super Complete Edition is very good. I'm very high on it. They put a lot of work into it. It is really good. I think the problem is TT Sim. It's just I hate moving the cameras and trying to keep track of everything. One of the nice things about this is I don't have to move shit. I just mouse over cards. They pop up. It's great. So I don't know if it'll work. But that's not why you're here. You're here for Lord of the Rings and to hang out for a little while, hopefully. As I understand it, because Lord of the Rings is a bit older now, it was, I guess a lot of these earlier scenarios were kind of weird and unbalanced and they're a bit RNG, as they're called. So, like, depending on what you draw or what deck you may or may not bring or what card you may or may not have, or it could just be luck of the draw that they become very difficult to beat some of these scenarios, and then sometimes kind of easy, and it's really random. And I have played through a bunch of them, actually, spoiler, off stream to stay frosty with the rules as much as I can. Speaking of, I don't have my rule book open. I probably should do that while I'm talking to you guys. And I definitely see the early stages of the development of this game in these early scenarios for sure. And having jumped ahead a little bit and tried a couple other scenarios, I was like, okay, this feels a little bit more polished. So I'm starting to understand what the community is talking about when they talk about some of these early scenarios. It makes sense to me. I still like them. They're very plucky. That's one of the things I like about them. I'm going to pull up the rules reference over here if I need it. Okay, we should be good. But anyway, I think we're going to dive into this. And by the way, I hope you're doing well, Wade. I appreciate you stopping by. So let's jump into this, I believe. Yeah, that still works. Cool. Excellent. And I think we F11'd this. We did, to make it full screen. So, actually, I don't really need to full screen this at this moment. So, yeah, this is the beta.dragoncards.com. That's DRAGNCards.com. DRAGNCards.com. This is the beta. I believe he is fine with people knowing about this. I don't really know. I hope so. But as you can see, there's a few games here. Plugins available for these games. Star Wars Unlimited, Marvel Champions, Lord of the Rings, Arkham Horror, Earthborn Rangers, I hear good things about. And I don't know what this is. War of the Ring, I think this is, WOTR. But we're going to be concerning ourselves with Lord of the Rings today. So this one is a little bit different. It looks a little bit different. But when I was messing around with the Marvel Champions game, I was like, oh, I'm kind of getting thrown off. So I want to know the hotkeys because a lot of the hotkeys are going to be compatible throughout the games instead of learning different hotkeys for different games. So as we promised, we're going to be playing this scenario. Now, I understand that this deck is not super unique that I'm messing around with, but I started to think about I've played the game a year ago quite a bit, playing it quite a bit again, and I hear a lot of people talking about Elrond and Gandalf and how good they are, and I was like, okay. You only have to look at the front of these two cards to understand why people say these guys are so good. Once you've played a little bit, it becomes very apparent. Elrond is, you may spend resources from his resource pool to pay for all types of allies. So regardless of what sphere your ally is from, Elrond can play them, which is pretty damn good, especially when you combine it with Gandalf, who states, play with the top card of your deck face up. Once per phase, you may play the top card of your deck as if it was in your hand. When playing a card this way, Gandalf is considered printed resources. So it gets even better when you get into Elrond's ring, which I'm going to show you right now. So if you get Vilya into play, this is very a broken combination. It states, attached to Elrond, he gains the Spirit resource icon. And then it says, exhaust Elrond and Vilya to reveal the top card of your deck. You may immediately play or put into play. When you put something into play, by the way, I don't think you have to pay for it. The revealed card for no cost. Yeah, right there. For no cost if able. Otherwise, move the revealed card to the bottom of your deck. This card with Gandalf is busted. Because Gandalf plays with the top card of your deck face up, right? So if you're Elrond, you just have to decide, am I going to play this card for free or not? And the shenanigans get even more shenanigan-y when you look at something like Wizard Pipe, which states, attached to an Astari character, limit 1 per character. Exhaust Wizard Pipe to exchange a card in your hand with the top card of your deck. Think about that. Think about Wizard Pipe, Vilya, Gandalf, and Elrond. It makes for some pretty devastating combinations. So yeah, he's pretty powerful. So I made a deck that's mostly allies. As you can see, I did something kind of weird. I made just one copy of every ally, with the exception of the Mine of the Iron Hills, which is me kind of being a wimpy beginner, because I don't want to, I hate having attached conditions to my heroes that essentially nullify them for the entire scenario or quest. So I do like to keep a couple of these handy if I have access to them. But this is mostly unique allies. In other words, they're all named, well, a lot of them are named allies. Arwen, Bjorn, Bilbo Baggins, Boffer, Boromir, Eomer, Fili, Keely, because if you play one, you get the other one for free, as long as he's in your deck, I think. I can't remember. And then I got some attachments and some events. You know, pretty standard stuff here. Now, the trick of this deck does really rest on Vilya. Steward of Gondor is kind of just a whatever. I should just take it out because it's corny. But I'll tell you what. You really, the deck power, with Elrond and Gandalf in play, the deck power really rests on Vilya, which is, again, Elrond's ring. So you really have to get this into play. But you're dealing with a 50-card deck, and you can only have 3 copies of this card. So it's going to be difficult to get this into play. So there are some tricks you can use to get it into play. And those are the following. We have Daeron's Runes, which of course allows us to draw 2 cards and discard a card. So that gets us to cycle cards a little bit. We also have, let's see, what else did I throw in this deck? I threw in Word of Command, which essentially is exhaust an Astari character to search your deck for 1 card and add it to your hand. So we've now doubled our chances of pulling that ring. So Elrond can play this and then go into the deck and pull out any card. as long as I can exhaust Gandalf to play it, right? I guess I thought about putting in. I do have deep knowledge in here. Here's another card draw. So this states doomed 2. Each player draws 2 cards. So that's some more cycling of cards to see if we can get at the ring. But it does cause us to raise our threat. Now the problem with this deck is my threat is 34 to start, and you lose the game at 50 threat. 34 is very high. That means you're going to be getting engaged by enemies pretty early. So the Gandalf Elrond deck is a slow start, but once it gets going and you have 10 allies on the table, it's like, I mean, you can't, I don't remember the ally maximum. In fact, I can't remember how many maximum allies there are. We'll have to look at that. Oh no, I closed Dragon Cards. What's up, Ronan? Beta. Ally maximum in Lord of the Rings LCG? I don't really know the answer. Roughly half your deck should be allies. Is there a limit to how many allies I can have? I guess there isn't. Maybe you can have as many allies as you want, because I don't remember any cards. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Champions, and sometimes these rules start to blend into each other, and Marvel Champions does in fact have ally limits. I don't think this does, but anyway, each player draws 2 cards, right? So again, this deck is pretty tricky. But I've heard people say, oh, you got to check out Elrond and Gandalf. So I wanted to do that without looking at other people's decks. I'm sure my deck is close to a lot of other people's decks. I'm not claiming any originality here. But when I heard look to Elrond and Gandalf, I started to see the combinations once I read about this ring, which is very powerful, right? Gandalf plays with the top of the deck revealed. And Vilya states, exhaust Elrond and Vilya to reveal the top card of your deck, although it's already revealed. You can immediately put into play for no cost that card. That's insanely powerful. Especially when you make your deck with 21 allies. So then you can just dump allies over and over and over again onto the board. And it's kind of an ally deck, I guess you would say. And then Wizard Pipe just continues the chaos because you can swap the top of the deck with what's in your hand and all that shit. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's the gist of how this deck works, and how it really does depend on if you can get Vilya into play. It's very important that you get your ring into play. And then I got a couple other I don't even know I have Lambus in this deck. I mean, I don't know. Now, the way most people, I think, play the Elrond Gandalf deck is they use Glorfindel. And that makes sense to me because he only has a 5. I have him in this deck. Glorfindel only has a 5 threat. So that would be a good way to start with a little bit lower of a threat. He also has a 3 willpower, a 3 fight. He's very useful. If you get Light of Valinor on him, he doesn't exhaust a quest, because if he exhausts a quest, you raise your threat by 1. So he makes a lot of sense in this deck over Eleanor. The reason I took Eleanor in this deck is because she is low threat, she is a spirit hero, and she has a built-in cancel when revealed cards of treachery. You can still tell I'm playing with beginner brain because I don't like treachery cards ruining the game. And I'll tell you this right now. Early scenarios, treachery cards can ruin the whole game. They're a little bit wacky sometimes. Like, oh, every character takes 2 damage. Then the next encounter card is every character who has damage on them takes a damage or something crazy. You're like, what the fuck? They just wiped out half my board. So I don't like falling prey to those silly types of cards. So I guess maybe in later scenarios they're less annoying. But otherwise, she's not great. 7 threat's still kind of high, but it's low enough for me to include her. She really is just a buffer against unexpected treachery cards. So the 2 decks were taken. I don't think I'm going to take the Blue Buttes. I think I'm going to actually take my Gondor Trap deck, which I really like. So this is a fully green deck, and it's really just crowd control. It's a denial deck, right? I can trap people, I can block people, I can get rid of shadow cards with a Burning Brand. It's pretty standard shit. It's not perfect. There's a lot of stuff I would probably change in this deck if I give it time. Hey, what's up, Ronan? Just watched the new Rohirrim expanded trailer for that animated movie coming out next week. Yeah, that looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? It's like a Japanese animation style, is it not? I think it is. But anyway, we're gonna run the Narya allies and the Gondorian trappers, and we're gonna see what happens. So 2 players. This is a little bit different. Number of players 2. All right, now let's load up our decks. We're gonna put the Narya deck up front here. Wait, not Narya. It's Vilya. Why am I calling it Narya? It's the Vilya deck, not the Narya deck. Dumb. All right, so how do we do this again? Load URL. Bloop. So those will populate in any second. And then we'll take the green deck over. Importing. There they go. And then we'll pop over to this table spot and we'll load the other deck. Titting. Let's see how that looks. Perfect. Now, before I load this scenario, I guess I should decide on mulliganing. So right off the bat, I would mulligan this hand because obviously I'm trying to get Vilya. Am I saying it right? I'm trying to get Vilya in my opening draw to attach to Elrond right away to start maximizing. Also, I have 2 5-point allies that I don't want in my hand just yet because I want to try to cheesily get them with the ring, right? These 3 cards are great, but sadly in this version of the LCG world, you have to mulligan your entire hand, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. So Shift M. Hey, we got Vilya. That's a good thing. We got a side quests, which I don't remember why I have this in here. And then we have Vilya. Shadowfax is here. All right. And we do have Jubair, but which is unfortunate. I'd rather him be in the deck because he is 5 points, which means he probably won't get played this game. And over here on the Gondorian Trapper deck, again, all green. We got Denethor, not quite the Trapper. We got Kelador and Damrod. All 3 are Gondorian Trappers, meaning we play cards like this, Forest Snare, that states attached to an enemy with a player. Attached enemy cannot attack. This is a very strong card. It's good to have Forest Snare in your opening hand if you're concerned about fighting enemies. We also have Warden of Healing. I happen to know I need a little bit of healing at some point in this deck, in this quest, and we did pull a Miner of the Iron Hills, which is always good. Over on this side, Shadowfax, Vilya, of course, is wonderful. It's also a general card, so you don't have to have a specific cost to pay for it. So anybody can pay for it. So that's pretty good. Now let's load up our scenario. We're going a journey to Rhosgobel. Bing. So this one's kind of weird. It's a weird one. So this eagle, Williador, has an arrow in it. That's very sad. Let's read the quest. It states, after a fierce conflict... Actually, you know what? Let me actually read you the quest line proper, which I think I have. I'll put this over here. I'll read it how it's supposed to be properly. I think I put it in the description. So here's how it says this. While traveling in the Anduin Valley, the heroes come across a fallen eagle, dreadfully wounded from a recent battle with goblins and on the verge of death. Given their location, the heroes attempt to transport the eagle to Rhosgobel on the edge of Mirkwood in the hope that the wizard Radagast can save the eagle's life. There you have it. So that's the scenario. And then the card states, after a fierce conflict with a group of trolls, you come across a fallen eagle, grievously wounded on the verge of death. Of course, we're trying to get it to Radagast. This tells us to search the deck for Rhosgobel and Williador and add them to the staging area with 2 damage tokens on him. So he starts damaged. Boop, boop. He starts with 2 damage on him. He has 20 health. Okay. For some reason, I thought he had 10. I'm an idiot. Rhosgobel. This has a threat of X. X is the number of players in the game, so we're going to go ahead and put a 2 marker on there so we don't forget. And while Rhosgobel is in the staging area, the eagle cannot be healed. Players must complete stage 1 of this quest before they can travel here. So We have to complete stage 1 of this quest before we can even move this to the active location. So that is annoying, which means that until we complete the first quest, we cannot heal the eagle. And the eagle, according to the eagle's card, it states, no attachments. The first player gains control of the eagle, so he comes down here. It does stay that at the end of each round, Williador suffers 2 damage. So the eagle is dying slowly. He cannot be healed of more than 5 wounds in a single effect. If Williador leaves play, the players have lost the game. That's unfortunate. He can only be healed a maximum of 5 per shot, and he can't be healed currently until this location card moves from the staging area to the active location. And the first quest has 8 quest points on it. And it says the eagle's wounds cannot be tended in the wilderness, so you attempt to bring the creature to Rhosgobel, where the wisdom of Radagast the Brown may be its only hope. All right, well, there you have it. So, should I full screen this? Does this look better this way? Yeah, probably. Still looks a little blurry, doesn't it? It's fucking annoying. Anyway, you can see the cards when I blow them up, at least. So let's hop to it. So first players on this side, we are going to remember we have Gandalf, so we play. Oh wait, we have to start with our opening cards. So let's do that. We get a card and we get a resource, so we can actually play cards. Hey, look, we pulled Steward of Gondor, which is a kind of a weird trick in this deck, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So first things first, we 100% want Villia in play. Also, Gandalf plays with the top of my deck revealed. There you have it. Not a card I really care about at this point. Completely useless card for me at this point because I can't heal the eagle, and this is a healing card. So we're going to spend 2 money, and we're going to spend it off of not Elrond just yet. We're going to spend it off of, yeah, probably Elrond. We're going to spend 2 money off of them, and we will, in fact, put, not Shadowfax, we will put the Villia ring on Elrond. So now Elrond has become very powerful. He can play or put into play a revealed card for no cost from the top of the deck, which we can see because we have Gandalf, which is kind of cheating. Not much else to do in these opening stages other than we will play Daeron's Runes. So we will draw 2 cards and then discard 1 card from our hand. So we're going to toss this in the discard pile. We're going to draw 2. Now maybe we can be cheaters and discard 1 of these cards. I'll discard the side quests. I'm not going to mess with that in this particular scenario. No. And we're going to reveal the top of the card, the top of the deck. Now, Elrond could play this for free if he wanted to, which would increase my threat and allow me to draw 2 more cards. I don't really want to draw 2 more cards right now. So I think this team is done. Over to the Gondorian Trappers. The Trappers. Also, let me put up my, I'm going to put up my, blah, 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 blah. I just want to see, does this still work? If I go to the rules cam, can you see the book? Bing, you can, and you can't see me, but that's okay. All right, just making sure. Okay, it looks sharp, says Ronan. Okay, cool, right on. All right, Damrod, this deck's built around trapping, right? Of course. So what are we going to do here? We could probably cycle some cards right away. See what we can get into play. We need to complete the Wounded Eagle quest so we can heal the goddamn eagle, because the eagle's going to take 2 damage every turn until he dies. We have a Daeron's Ruse in this deck, too, which is kind of corny, but whatever. We'll play that. So discard, draw 2. We got Burning Brand. It's so good. Discard 1 card. I think we will discard the... I don't like discarding allies, but deal 3 damage to an enemy with a trap on it. We'll toss that for now, although I do like that card. Maybe we'll toss the no engagement checks, because we do have a pretty low threat on this team. The green team only has a 26 threat, compared to the 34 of these guys. And we're going to stick Burning Brand directly onto Denethor. Now, Denethor is great. Exhaust him to look at the top of your encounter deck. You may move that card to the bottom of the encounter deck. So on this team, I can look at the encounter deck, and then with Eleanor, I can exhaust her to cancel the when revealed treachery effect revealed by the encounter deck. It does force me to draw a new card, which is kind of annoying. So Denethor can exhaust to look, and then decide if he wants to discard that card. It's probably always a good idea to try to control the encounter deck if you can. That's what it is in Arkham anyway. When the encounter deck, being able to mitigate that is nice in Arkham, and that's what purple decks do. But that's a little bit different in this game. So, well, we don't have any money, so I think we're done. All right, time for the questing phase. So in the questing phase, we must decide. Gandalf is a 3/3/3. It's so good. That's why he has a 14 threat. It's so high. I probably should exhaust both Elrond and Gandalf and just get to the questing. It's probably not a bad idea. So we will do that. We're going to quest here, and I think we'll have Damrod quest as well, just so we don't fall behind early. So we have 6 progress, and now we go to the staging phase, and we'll go ahead and reveal some staging cards. 1. Bling! Hey, Athelis. This actually is a good thing. It says exhaust a hero to claim this objective. If it has no encounters attached, then attach Athelis to that hero. So when we draw this card, we do have to draw another card to guard it. So here you go. It's guarded by these fellers. The Dol Guldur Orcs. When revealed, the first player chooses a character currently committed to a quest. Deal 2 damage to that character. That's annoying. I guess we will damage Gandalf. He can take it. He can hack it. And next card. Bing. Each player discards all event cards in their hand. That's pretty annoying. That's an example of an annoying card. So the green team has 2 event cards in their hand. And the blue team has none. A 1. I do have Lore of Imladris here. So I would be losing substantial healing from Lore of Imladris being pulled. But do I want to reveal another card, or I just want to deal with it? I think I'm going to allow that to happen. I'm not going to use Eleanor's power. I will discard Forest Patrol. I will discard Mithrandir's Advice. It does hurt to discard. I will discard Lore of Imladris. They all hurt. They hurt. But that's okay. And that leaves us with a 4 threat in the staging area. So we do succeed on the quest by 4. So we're going to pop 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're halfway to being done with the first part of the quest, which is always good. Travel phase. We cannot travel to Rhosgobel as we have not completed the first part of the quest. Per the rules of the scenario, we will optionally engage. We will optionally engage the Dol Guldur Orcs, but with whom is the question? I think it's a no-brainer. I think we will engage them because we're all tapped out over here. We're going to engage them optionally here. So that's how engagement works, right? Player 1 has the option to engage. They deny that option. It moves to player 2. He has the option to engage. He will engage. Because if we didn't, then these guys would go here. So we're going to take them off your hands. And that brings us to the combat stage. They get a shadow card. Denethor will block. Denethor is designed as a blocker. Again, he's got a 3 defense, and he has Burning Brand, which states, exhaust Burning Brand to cancel a shadow effect triggered during an attack which he is defending. That's very powerful, I think. I know it's been eroded. I think it used to be anybody. Can I fix this chair for 5 seconds? There we go. I think it used to be anybody could You could do it for anybody, but they change it to just a character. So, long story short, Denethor will block. So the orcs take a swing at him, and they do 2 damage plus nothing. All right. That brings us to player attacks. We will, in fact, exhaust Kelador, who will attack this guy for 3 damage. 3 damage from Kelador against a 0 defense means 3 damage to the orcs. They die. So he exhausts to kill them. This detaches. They die. And this states, exhaust a hero to claim this objective. Perfect. So we're going to exhaust Eleanor and claim this objective. Yay. We got healing herbs for the eagle. So that's that. That's a pretty clean open, to be honest with you. Now we go to the end of the phase, and we're getting a reminder. I do like this, C-Stan. I know some people don't. I do like the reminders. Like, hey, do you remember to do damage to this guy? I forget shit all the time. So 1, 2, that's great. He takes 2 damage at the end of the round. First player gains control of Williador. So I guess he hops over here now. And we go on to the next turn. We get our money, we get a card. And green team's first. Let's look at blue team's hand. What do we got on the top of the deck? Hey, Ailmond. We get a free ally because of Elrond, which is incredibly awesome. So, not the hair. All right, so we will put him into play. We will exhaust Elrond, and we will put him into play for free. How awesome is that? And the top of the deck is still face up, and that's because Gandalf is in play. So he exhausts to put the top of the deck in for free. We keep looking at the top of the deck after we play this guy because Gandalf knows shit. All right. What else do we want to do over here? Do we want to put Shadowfax into play to give Gandalf ranged and Sentinel? Probably. It's kind of awesome. And you can exhaust Shadowfax to ready Gandalf. Oh, Shadowfax is gorgeous. We will, and since it's a neutral card, anyone can pay for it. So 1, 2, and... No. 1, 2, and 3. The reason I'm doing it this way is because on top of the deck is a Test of Will, which allows me to cancel when revealed effects, which Gandalf can play. And he needs money to play it. So Shadowfax comes in. Shadowfax attaches to Gandalf. Very cool. So now he's a ranged Sentinel, which means he can block for anybody. I can block for this team if I need to. And all my attacks are considered ranged, which is incredibly good. Alrighty. I guess that's this team. Over to the green guys, the green dudes. We're going to play Daron's Runes, and we're going to draw 2 and discard 1. Who are we discarding? Probably, I do like a chump blocker, but I don't need him. I'm going to discard this cat. Bing. We're kind of a little ally heavy in my hand right now, but that's okay, I guess. All right. I think that's all I'm doing. No, I guess I'll put the Ithlian Lookout into play. He cost me 3. 1, 2, 3. He has a secrecy of 2. The way secrecy works is if your threat is under 20, you get a discount of that secrecy number to playing him. So if I had a threat of 20 or under, he would only cost 1 to play, which is awesome. It'd be kind of neat to make a deck like that. Very, very low threat, and putting allies in taking advantage of all this secrecy stuff is very cool. But, yeah, a bit expensive, if I'm being honest. Okay, I think we're good here. That moves to the questing phase again. So we've got a couple extra questers, except Elrond this turn, because he put this guy into play. So Ailmond will quest for sure. Gandalf will quest for sure, and then he will exhaust Shadowfax to unready, or to ready up. So he's questing at no action cost to him, which is very awesome. On this side, we'll continue throwing Damrod into quests. I think it's not a bad idea, and we might as well send the Ithilian Lookout as well for a little extra bump. So we got a 6 progress right now. And into the deck we go. So reveal number 1 for staging phase is bats. Only eagle characters or characters with range can attack or defend against bats. That's unfortunate. So the bats have arrived. And on the next one, and they're definitely engaging somebody. They got a 26 engagement cost. Bats, ooh, and Athelas again. We're getting lucky with these draws. So we got to draw some. Oh, I hate this fucking card. So Festering Wound states deal 2 damage to each wounded character, which would be really bad for Gandalf. So instead of that, we will cancel this. So here's how we're going to do it. Gandalf will play from the top of the deck a Test of Will, because when he does, he gets all of the icons. So even though this is a spirit card, he can play it because he's top decking it for 1, and we will cancel this bullshit card. Also, this is a guarded card, so when it comes out, it gets guarded by this. Then this gets discarded after it's played with no effect. So this sits up here, which means we can exhaust somebody to take this. So we probably should do that. It'll probably be Eleanor again. She's going to hold all the healing herbs. Let me think about this in the questing phase. So we committed action window, staged action window. So after staging, we have an action window. So during the staging quest action window, we will take the action of grabbing this with her. So we don't lose that to the next thing that hits the staging area, which is good. And we succeed on the quest by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is all we need to complete the first part of the quest. So this goes away. The eagle's health has grown worse, but you have at least arrived at Rhosgobel, where Radagast examines the bird. He then asks you to head out into the wilderness to find the healing plant Athelas. I got a couple right now. Meanwhile, any healing lore or supplies your party has at its disposal could be used to assist in comforting the eagle until you return. The state's response: after the quest phase begins, the first player may place damage on the eagle to look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add 1 of those cards to the staging area, and discard the other 2. Well, this gives you a little bit of control over the deck at the expense of hurting the eagle. They want you to go looking for these cards, but we were lucky and drew them early, so I don't know. After card effect heals Williador, remove that card from the game, which means we won't be using Elrond's response, which states, after character is healed by another card effect, heal 1 damage on it. If I did that, I'd have to remove Elrond from the game. So we're not going to be using that. So this is after the questing phase begins. We have the option to go into the deck and look if we want to put damage on the eagle. Good to know. I don't think we're going to do that. But, all right. We successed ourselves, and now we are in the travel phase, and guess what? We can travel. So we will remove Rhosgobel from the staging area and put it in the active location, which means now we can heal the eagle. Now we can heal the eagle. Even though I had to discard my healing cards. Just fucking annoying. And what's really tough is if you heal the eagle with an ally, you have to take the ally out of the game. That's insane. So that brings us to the encounter phase, right? We will optionally engage, of course, with this group because we do have a ranged attack, but nobody can defend this guy, which is a problem. It does make this thing kind of annoying because it could potentially be dangerous. Because if only a ranged character can defend against him... No, I guess the eagle can kill him. Yeah, all right, we're fine. So I just wish I had Burning Brand on Kelador right now, but I don't. So the Black Forest Bats will optionally engage them. He does get a shadow card. Kelador will defend. He's only got a 3 health. Oof. And a 1 defense. Not a good defending character. Much better at killing. But I could have the eagle defend. That's very risky. We'll have Kelador defend the eagle. And there are card states. Whew, thank God. Also, this card sucks. I'm glad it's out of the game. So I don't take any damage from the bats. I managed to fend them off because they only attack at a 1. And we will return fire. Check this out. Gandalf has range now, right? Plow! He'll obliterate this guy. Poof. Because Gandalf does 3. He has range because of Shadowfaxed. Shadowfaxed. You got a fax coming through. It's a horse. So Black Forest bats go away. Clean start. End of the phase. Willidor is still taking damage. Poor thing. And that brings us up here to the start of the next turn. Hey, look, Lambus. Except Willidor is not a hero, so I can't attach to him. What's the top of the deck show me? Daeron's Runes. Not what I want. Not what I want, goddammit. All right, let me think about what I want to do here. I should play. I can't play him, though. He's purple. He's purple. He's purple. I really would love to get my pipe in this so I can swap cards out from the front of the deck. That would be cool. Well, maybe we can use Elrond to quest. That's a possibility, right? Just the shadow facts, baby. All right, so... Oh, here we go. I like this card. Woodman's Clearing. Attached to a location. When the attached location leaves play as an explored location, the first player reduces his threat by 3. Plop. So we'll play that. That makes this guy cost a little bit less. Reduce the cost to play Mirkwood Hunter by 1 for each attachment on the active location. And I think that's what we'll do. 1, 2, 3. Boom. This is a good ally. Also, if I was a little bit younger, I might look like that guy. He's got a nose on him, doesn't he? It says reduce the cost to play Mirkwood Hunter by 1 for each attachment. So he has a 2 will, a 2 fight, and a 2 defense, and 3 hit points. That's a good ally. To be honest with you, he's better than some heroes. For only 3, I mean, that's not bad. And if I play this with the Blue Buttes deck, I have a lot of attachments on the objective, so. Again, it's kind of a catch-all trap deck because you would probably have more things to attach to locations other than Woodman's Clearing if you wanted to really get crazy with this. This just happened to come up, and it's a good combo. Because I have this attached to the main location, he's a little cheaper, and he's quite good. Blue guys. It's the blue guys. Not really. They're not blue at all, actually. It's the Legends deck. Let's be real. It's Elrond and fucking Gandalf. I don't really like what I'm looking at here, but I will play Daeron's Runes. And that will be Gandalf that does it. So Gandalf is going to pick the top card of your deck, play with it face up. Once per phase, you may play the top card of your deck as if it was in your hand, and he's considered to have all the icons. So we will play this. We'll draw 2. 1, 2. Oh, look at that. We got Word of Command. And top of the deck still face up. And look at that. Wizard Staff. We got Gandalf. I told you not to permit his... Exhaust Gandalf's Staff to choose a player to draw a card, add 1 resource to a resource pool, or discard a shadow card from a non-unique enemy. That's pretty awesome. So we could play that for free. I have other plans, guys. Watch this bullshit I'm about to do. This is some bullshit. This is where this deck gets crazy. So Elrond is going to play Word of Command for 1 green money. And oops, I put it on the top of my deck. And that states, come on. Exhaust an Astari character to search your deck for 1 card and add it to your hand. I will exhaust Gandalf. I will unexhaust Gandalf with Shadowfax. I will search my deck for a fucking Wizard Pipe. Bing. Close and shuffle. I'll stick that on Gandalf for 1. Gandalf will exhaust the Wizard Pipe. Exchange a card in your hand with the top card of your deck. I will exchange this card with this card. I'll put Jubair on top of the deck. I will exhaust Elrond to play this card for free. Oh, this deck's busted. Busted. You like that? That's some combo. That's some card game combo bullshit right there. All right. I think I did that right. I might be breaking the rules, but I think I did that right. So now I get a dude with a 3 defense in play who's a sentinel, and he can discard a face-down shadow card as well. Also, top of the deck still open. So that's a pretty good combo. It's a combination. Better than the combos I was doing in Cyberpunk with my fists last night, that's for sure. Those are ugly. Okay. I think that ends this deck's shenanigans for the turn. It does. It does, and that's okay. We do need to heal Gandalf. That is kind of a concern right now. We got to heal the Eagle, too. So on the green team, yeah, I mean, Gandalf's a little beat up, which is bad. He could die if I'm not careful. And by die, I mean be driven away into whatever he decides to come back, because he's Gandalf. I'm thinking. Where'd the wizard staff go? I thought I saw the wizard staff on top of the deck, didn't I? Am I losing my mind? Oh, I'm going to shuffle. I didn't want to cheese dick it. Shuffle that up. Oh, it's because I had to shuffle my deck after I went into it to get the wizard pipe. That's what happened. Okay, got it. Nope, that's fair. Fair. Okay, I think we're done. I'm always a little nervous going into the staging and staging stuff, but so do I want to damage the Eagle to look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck? Not really. I think that's insane. I do have encounter deck mitigation somewhat with Eleanor. I don't have any Test of Wills in my hand, which is a bit concerning when you have Gandalf already with 2 damage on him. But you know what? We got to get cracking here. Maybe we won't exhaust Gandalf to quest. It does seem crazy not to, though, doesn't it? Who's going to quest? I think we're going to have the Mirkwood Hunter quest. I think we're going to have Damrod quest. I think we're going to have Aelmond quest. We're going to stick Jubayar or Jubair. Sounds racist, to be frank. I don't know what I'm saying. Jubayar. The cool defending guy with the spear, we'll call him Jay. We'll call this J-Man. J-Man is a great defender, so he's not going to quest. I really should quest Gandalf and not be a little pansy about it. Plink, he'll quest, even though he's hurt. Let's stage him up. Bing. Each player must choose and exhaust a character he controls. Oh, God. The King Spider. Each player must choose and exhaust a character he controls. Ooh, yuck. I'm going to make it J-Man because I want to be able to cancel a treachery with Eleanor if I need to. All right, next card. Bing. Oh, all right, Enchanted Stream. While Enchanted Stream is the active location, players cannot draw cards. Good to know. It's not the enchanted location. And the King Spider will be fighting us. We're going to be taking him over here for sure. Okay. Not terrible. We succeed by 5, so we immediately clear Rhosgobel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we get the benefits of the Woodman's Clearing. First player reduces his threat by 3. That's perfect. 1, 2, 3. That's good. This goes away. This goes away. Yes, move to the victory display. And while Enchanted Stream is the active location, players cannot draw cards. Well, I'm not going to travel there. Maybe I should. I don't have a lot of questers on the table just yet. I can't play cards. That's kind of insane. which means I'd have to get through the staging phase without playing any cards next turn. I don't know if that's terrible, to be honest with you. I can't play cards, but I can put cards into play with Elrond's ability. Sneaky shit, right? I feel like I should just like take my medicine now, because it will continuously take away. It's essentially nullifying a character. Not yet. The board's not so loaded that I need to worry about the extra 2 right now. Not yet. We're not going to travel optionally. We're going to decide not to do that. Green team will certainly engage the King Spider. Oh, each player must choose and exhaust one character he controls. I did miss that. All right, so we exhausted this guy. We're going to also exhaust the archer, unfortunately. All right, I missed that. I'm sorry, I was cheating. So let's get the shadow card to the King Spider, and let's decide to have Denethor block, obviously. The King Spider's attacking for 3, plus the shadow card, which is nothing. I'm glad to see these cards going to the discard pile. That's beautiful. And we will return fire with Denethor, with Kelador, who attacks for 3. He's got a 1 defense, so he takes 2. Not quite dead, is he? Wait, we can attack with the eagle, can't we? Oh, no, he's over here. I got to remember to move him back and forth. He's always under the control of the first player. And he's not ranged, which is silly. He's a goddamn eagle. He should be able to peck this guy for the last damage, but that's fine. All right, moving on. 2 more damage to the eagle. He's got 8 damage on him. Not good. Next turn, here we go. I think I hit the wrong key. It's not doing anything. Oh, God, don't crash. Thank you. It's always a fear these betas crash, and then you lose your whole game. In fact, can I save? Is it Control S? Is it Control S? Full replay saved. I don't know what that means. Hopefully that's what it means. You like the self-made sound effects? Pretty good, right? Yeah, there's no sound in the game, unfortunately. It'd be cool if there was a little bit of a little noises. I do miss the flipping sound cards of Tabletop Sim. All right, so planning phase. Top of the deck for us. Let's check. Oh, I like that card. Top of the deck here is nice, dude. This is well-timed. This is very well-timed. Okay, good news. I am still not going to have an ally in play. I could get Theodwyn into play for free. It might feel like the better move. I really need to heal this eagle, though, before things get wild. Can the green team heal the eagle? I think they can. So my discard pile... I thought I had a healing card in my discard pile. I do not. Okay. Scroll of Isildur is such a good card. It allows me to play an event card from my discard pile as if it was in my hand, which is pretty awesome. So we could use Mithrandir's advice again if necessary, but let's hold off on all that fun. The first thing we're going to do on the green team is we're going to put the Warden of Healing into play for 2. Exhaust him to heal 1 damage on up to 2 different characters. Then you may pay 2 resources to ready Warden of Healing. And then he will be discarded, which sucks. So I can heal 1 on the eagle and 1 on Gandalf, and then he goes away. That's a bit expensive, isn't it? We're going to do it anyway. So he's going to heal. He's going to heal 1 here. Whoopsie. 1 here and 1 here. And then he gets taken. Not just, by the way, this states, where is it? If Willidor leaves play, no. Where does it say it? Remove the card from the game. Where? Oh, right here. After a card effect heals Willidor, remove that card from the game. So he goes to the set-aside. We can't even redraw him, so he's gone. But we did take away a little damage on us. And, you know, we might as well strike while the iron is hot on this. We're going to exhaust. It seems silly to exhaust him for just 2 money. Oh, dude, I have a plan. Okay, all right. I see a combo. We're going to exhaust the wizard pipe. We are going to put Lore of Imladris in our hand. We're going to put Steward of Gondor on the top of the deck, which is a purple card. We don't have any purple in this deck, but while he's on the top of the deck, this states Elrond may spend with Willie Door, he may put a play into. You may immediately play or put into play a revealed card for no cost. You may spend resources. Wait a minute. He doesn't have the right color, though, so can he do that? I think only with allies, so I don't think I can do this trick. But Gandalf could pay for the resource because he has purple right now. Is this what I want to do? No. No, I'm not going to put this on the top of the deck. I'm actually going to put Feely on top of the deck, who is also purple, but he is an ally. In this state, you may spend resources from Elrond's resource pool to pay for those all allies. In this state, I can do it for no cost. So I will exhaust Elrond. I will put Feely into play. And it states, after you play Feely from your hand during the planning phase, search your deck for Keely and put him into play. That's 2 for the price of 1. So we'll get his bro. Of course, he's in this deck, because if not, this would be a silly deck. So he goes into play. So we get double allies. Top of the deck is still visible. Oh, God. Bjorn's so good. We could put Gandalf's ring on him to continuously make him more insanely broken. He only has one. There's nothing restricted on him right now. This would allow him to exhaust the ring and himself, and he can ready 2 allies who get +1/+1. That's insane. Cost me 2 to play it. We still need to heal the eagle. We don't have the green to heal the eagle. We will put this ring on Gandalf 100%, and we'll take it off of her and him. All right. We're getting a pretty big board state here to where we need sliders to keep up with all our shit. All right. I think we're mercifully done with this part of the planning phase for that team. Over here, not much we can do. We don't have a ton of card draw, but we are stacked up against this jerk face. We'll save the money. We actually will put Scroll of Isildur into play. We'll stick it on Denethor, I guess. It costs 4, but it states reduce the cost to play 1 for each hero you control with a printed resource. So we reduce the cost from 4 to 1, and Damrod will pay for it. And that brings us to the questing phase. So Gandalf will not quest, I don't think. Actually, he probably should. Gandalf will quest, and he will exhaust Shadowfax to unexhaust. Eomund will quest. Can I not use Narya? I have to exhaust to use Narya, correct? Exhaust Narya in the character it's attached to. So we're gonna quest. We're gonna quest with the 2 dwarfs. They only have a 1, but it's something. This guy will quest. Damrod will quest. That's a 9. I like that. All right, let's stage him. 1. Oof. This is the worst card. Deal 2 damage to each exhausted character. Brutal. We are going to cancel that effect with Eleanor. And this states discard that card and replace it with the next card from the encounter deck. So we don't escape a card. We just escape this card. So staging. Oh, no. Ungoliant Spawn. Oops. When revealed, each character currently committed to a quest gets -1 willpower until the end of the phase. We'll calculate that in a minute. Next card is Mirkwood Flock. Okay, so we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters committed to the quests, which lowers our progress by 5. So we don't put anything on this because of this goddamn spider. At least we don't raise our threat. And now things are heating up. Okay, here goes nothing. So we're still not going to travel. Encounter phase, starting with the first player. Jesus. This spider hits for 5, plus its card. He hits for 5. So J-Man can only take 1 hit from this guy. And I don't have enough firepower on this side of the table. I have a 6th attack between, well, if you combine everybody, 1, 2, so 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 12 attack points over here compared to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's more attack over here, but it's a little less efficient. I think we're going to take the spider on the green team because we can throw the forest snare on him like cheese balls. So we will engage the spider, the nasty, nasty Ungoliant Spawn. These guys will engage this optionally. And that brings us to the combat phase. This should be fun. Oh dear God, no. So we're going to lose somebody over here. Gandalf is a sentinel. Gandalf is a sentinel. Should he defend this? No, because then the Mirkwood Flock will live to fight another day, and they might anyway. All right, I think we'll let them handle themselves. Also, the eagle's on this side. I always forget. It'd be cool if there was a feature that bounced him back and forth on this. That might be a pain to write, though. All right, so let's start with the spawn. Denethor will block the spawn, who's attacking for 5. The shadow card is nothing. So 2 come through, and he's banged up now. So Denethor takes 2 here. We can't withstand too much damage from this thing, so we really got to get a trap on him. All right, the Ithilien Archer will defend against the King Spider, who's hitting for 3, which means he dies, plus the Shadow card, which at least this guy goes away, so he dies. Painful. Over on this side, J-Man will defend. Oh, he could have defended this side too, huh? Yeah, he's also a sentinel. He will defend, and it states, after you defend, you can discard a face-down shadow card. This is not a unique enemy. None of these are. So this goes away, and I take no damage. He does 2. I defend for 3. No damage sustained. Now, attacking, we have to consider Gandalf. It would be nice to get rid of this guy so this team has a little bit of a breather next turn. But next turn, we will be able to throw a forest snare on this guy, thus rendering him really inept. He can't do anything. He can't attack. So Gandalf will just attack this guy because it's not going to kill him. So with his ring, he could ready 2 allies, and they get +1 attack and +1 defense. So here's what's going to happen. We will, during the player attack phase, We are actually going to exercise our Narya action, which states exhaust Narya and the attached character to choose and ready up to 2 allies. So we're going to go like this. We're going to ready both Keely and Feely. And this states each of those allies get +1/+1. So they get that until when? Until the end of the phase. Right. That means they are now attacking at a combined damage of 4. So they both attack for 4. He can sustain 3 damage. He has a 1 defense, so that's just enough to get rid of him, where it wouldn't have been for Gandalf to do it alone. So good job. Good job, me. These can go away. And that's the end of the combat phase. Oh, no, it isn't. We didn't attack on this side. We have to decide what we want to do on this side. Probably just get rid of the King Spider with Kelador. So he's gone. Blink. All right. Moving along. He takes 2. Oof, a lot of damage on the poor eagle. And off to the next turn we go. I don't know why it's reminding me for these cards. I don't quite know why. But planning phase. Hey, look, that's a good card to have on the top of your deck, but not necessary. So here's where this deck starts to get really disgusting. We're going to exhaust Wizard Pipe. Exchange a card in your hand with a card on top of your deck. We're going to put Bjorn on the top of the deck. We will exhaust Elrond to play Bjorn for free. A 6-point ally for free. And he has a 1-time where he can get a +5 to attack until the end of the phase. If only I could use it against the spider. I wasn't thinking about that. But I have another contingency for the spider. Top of the deck still open. And hey, look at this. We will play a Good Harvest off the top of our deck with Gandalf this time. So Gandalf has used his once per phase. And this states name a sphere. Leadership. Until the end of the phase, you can spend resources of any sphere when playing cards that belong to the name sphere. Perfect. So we will use 2 resources from Elrond to play Steward of Gondor onto Elrond. That's really, really silly, but we're doing it. We will exhaust Steward of Gondor to give Elrond 2 money, which is awesome. This can go away. And, yeah, I think we're good. We still need to heal this goddamn eagle with 2 green. Oh, we have 2 green. So here we go. Let's heal the eagle. Choose a character, heal all damage from that character. This will have to go to the set-aside. It costs Elrond 2. He is green. It is green. However, there is caveat which states the eagle can only be healed 5 wounds by a single effect. So that brings him down to 4. This card gets exiled, more or less. Arkham term. And that's that. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. And this deck's starting to gain a lot of momentum here. Green guys. Oh, look, we have a Lore of Imladris as well. Isn't that nice? However, we have bigger fish to fry named Forest Snare. We are going to snare the spawn in a trap. So Damrod states that reduce the cost of the first trap you play by 1. So it's only going to cost us 2. After a trap you control is attached to an enemy, draw a card. We'll draw a card. Kelador states, after a trap card you control is attached to an enemy, either ready Kelador or reduce your threat by 1. We'll drop our threat by 1. Pretty cool. And we got this guy, which means we could send this jerk back to the staging area. But in doing so, he would then contribute to reducing our progress. So we might as well just keep him in front of us and allow him to live. Because he can't attack anymore. He's kind of useless. Oh, but wait a minute. This ally is kind of awesome. It states, after Emin R. Nen commits to the quest, choose an enemy with a trap attachment until the end of the phase, Emin gets plus X will, where X is the chosen enemy's printed threat. So this character is going to have a 3 will the rest of the game, as long as the spider's still around and in a trap. That's awesome. Let's do it. 1, 2. He'll come into play. I'm just going to put it on him now because I will forget to do it. So he gets a plus 3 will. Not bad. Is he have to be in the staging area? No, it just says an enemy with a trap attachment, which is exactly what the snare is. Okay. Well, I don't want to sound overconfident, but I think we may have this under control at this stage. So let's go ahead and get to the quest phase. Gandalf's going to quest. We're a lot of questing coming up. We're going to put these 2 guys down here. This is the hammer and the anvil. So we are going to exhaust. And I think we're good there. Also, first player moves. Williador moves. And that's a 10 progress. We could just sell out and try to defeat the quest now. It's very possible we succeed right now if we just sell out. Damrod will quest. Then these 2 could quest. I could tap Shadowfax and get Gandalf ready again. Yep, I will. So Gandalf will be ready. I could commit these 2 to the quest and then uncommit them with the Narya ring by re-exhausting Gandalf. But we can save that option for this stage of the game. All right, let's get to the staging phase. Deal 1 damage to each character without any attachments. It's a lot of damage to go around. So I think we will deny that. So Eleanor will actually play a test of will for 1. That goes away. And the next card is the Hummerhorns. Hummerhorns are nasty. They're nasty because they do 5 damage to a single hero you control when they engage you. So I'll have to give up Elrond, Eleanor, or Gandalf if I hit 40 threat. So this is a ticking time bomb right here. But otherwise, we just gained 11 progress, which does bring us to the end of this. And that ends that. Return to Rhosgobel. Feeling that time is running out on Williador's life, you gather the Athelas you have found and head back to Rhosgobel. You arrive at night wondering if you have found enough of the herb. Flip it. When revealed, heal 5 wounds from the eagle for each healing objective card you control. So 5, 10. So he's fully healed by a mile. And then it states, if the eagle is completely healed when this effect resolves, Williador survives, and the players have won the game. Well, there you go. I guess the game has been won. So that's that. We win. The quest has ended in a victory. That's that. It's kind of weird. It's sort of like this is what I mean. This is kind of janky. Because if you quested and didn't have enough of the healing herbs and flipped this card, you'd be like, oh, you just lose. Like, if he had 11 damage on him when I flipped this card, I would have lost. Isn't that crazy? You just lose. Even if you're doing a really good job. So this is one of those kind of I gotcha quests, which is why I think it's not particularly great. I don't think it's a great quest design because it's kind of designed with the replay. Like, once you know how the quest works, obviously I knew how it worked going into it, which is why I'm like, yeah, I'm going to heal the eagle ahead of completing this quest because... So it's kind of silly video gamey stage, like I gotcha, never mind, I figured out how to beat it quest. So I wouldn't call it highly replayable. I mean, I enjoyed playing it, but it's not great. It's not great design, I don't think. But it was fun. Hopefully you guys had fun watching it. And yeah, I think that was pretty good. So as you can see, this deck's really silly. It's a silly deck. It's very powerful. I mean, I'm sitting here with 5 allies in play. I have 5 allies in 5 turns, and they cost 3, 3, 3, 6, 5. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points of allies. In 5 turns, I could barely generate that with just resources alone. So this Villia thing is nasty, man. Elrond is nasty. As you would imagine he would be. But that's why your threat's so high. So what can happen with this deck is you don't get Villia. You can't go. This game is very different without Villia. I have many. It's much different. We're in much worse shape. So the reality is this deck really relies on you getting Villia into play. I keep calling it a ring. Is it a ring? Yeah, it's a ring because we're looking at a harp. But yeah, if you don't get that ring into play, you're kind of in trouble. But I do have a lot of tricks to go after the ring. But if the enemies stack on this deck early, it can be dangerous. So, and then once the spider's neutralized, it's kind of a wrap. And then, yeah, we just kind of marched our way to victory. So kind of cool. We did it. We saved the eagle. The eagle's healed. Yay, happy eagle. It's a very sad picture with the leaves flopping around and him got an arrow in his little bird body. But don't worry. He's good. All right. I guess we can want to try Emmon Hill. We can do another one. What's this, an hour and 26? Actually, maybe we'll stop it here and maybe we'll come back later. I don't know. I kind of like keeping single quests to single streams. And, yeah, I would call this a successful quest. That was pretty cool. So thank you guys for watching. And thanks again to CSAN and Dragon Cards for making this all very possible. Because without him, we're not playing. Without him, we're not playing. And, of course, Fantasy Flight for making a great game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I do appreciate you guys stopping by to watch me rush the eagle to safety with the help of the legendary Elrond and Gandalf. I mean, this is a pretty wild team. Gandalf, Eleanor from Gondor. There's a lot of Gondor is highly represented between Denethor, Kelador, Damrod, and Eleanor. A lot of Gondor present. And then you have an ancient elf and a wacky angel guy. So pretty cool. But yeah, I would say this has been fun. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out for a little while to do this. It's still early in Saturday. I don't know what I'm doing. I might come back later. We'll see. But in the meantime, have a good one.